like it's I feel like you have to take whatever means necessary to protect yourself moving forward.
And I will say this, I think that it's very important to, my best advice also is being around high value people, because people who value themselves, they really don't move like that, men or women, or at least people that.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Day to Day with Daydream. I have my guest again, Yas.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm good.
That's good. It's great to see you. It's been a little while, hasn't it?
It has been a little while. Like, I'm glad we're back.
Yeah,
we're doing it again.
We're doing it again.
The boys are back.
You know what? I'm glad you're back because people loved you.
Oh my gosh.
I got a lot of feedback on the previous podcast that we did, and a lot of people support you.
Oh my gosh, that's so sweet. I love all of them.
Yes.
I love all of them.
So it's time to see more of you.
Yeah.
We got to make this official. Like once a week, you got to get
that
in here
actually
with me.
makes me want to cry.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know me, I'm like kind of sensitive. I'm like, oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I told you like we should have. It could either be me and you.
Tea time with D and Y.
You know what? Yeah, it's our new podcast.
So, yeah.
Me and you.
Me and you, yeah.
How was the drive over here?
Oh my gosh, it was good. It took me a minute to like get out of the bed and get, like, I had a really stressful day with work. I was super busy. I had a lot of clients that I had to get back to. And then I was like, you know what? I need to go to the gym tonight. Like, I need to go and sit in the sauna. So I had full intentions to go to the gym, sit in the sauna. Okay. But I ended up bumping into a really good friend of mine. Okay. And I hadn't seen her in years. And needless to say, I ended up not getting to the sauna. I'm super sore because she worked me out hard. Okay. But I hadn't seen her in years. So we were talking about like, kind of like everything from like the past and people that we know and kind of what they're doing now. And like, not in any malicious way or anything like that, but just catching up.
Well, okay. So, did you meet her at my favorite gym? And you know why it's my favorite gym.
Yes, yeah. I met her at your favorite gym. Yeah.
Go Green Street. You know
go Green Street. Lifetime all the way.
That's where it happens at. So is she? You said she's an old friend?
Yeah. So we used to so yes, we met through brought us together, a family member brought us together, and she was one of our models, and so she was just like really amazing, and like she's so beautiful, and it was really good to see her again, but it was years ago. The last time I saw her was like 2019. Like, I mean, long time ago, and it was just, she's so beautiful. It was so good to see her again. Like, she, like, if she was to come in right now, you would just like fall out on out of the chair.
Have you ever
I would fall out.
Have you ever shown her before?
I actually have shown you her before. And you know, actually what's funny is, I probably shouldn't be saying all this on a podcast, but she actually knew who you were.
No way.
She did. She actually knew who you were. Like, I probably am going, stop me at any point. But she actually kind of like knew you from like a mutual friend that was, well, not a mutual friend, but somebody that you know. And we can always talk about it later, but.
No, you'll get into it right now. You'll get into it right now.
She actually knew you, like a friend of yours. And it actually, she thought, you know, you're a cute guy and everything, but it actually made me think about like, okay, I need to talk to Adrian later about like reputation and whatnot, because some stuff was a little sus. Yeah.
You know what? We're gonna have to get into it because I know the audience wants to hear it now.
That's my fault. I start talking.
It's good. So when you started talking to her, and if it's who I think it is, then I can probably understand that it may not this may not sound too good, but it's always good to know so that you can redirect yourself into a better future. So what are some of the things that y'all talked about?
So some of the things that we talked about was kind of like, I guess like kind of who you're around. It really does matter with who you're around, because reputation is a very real thing. Houston is big. It's a huge city, but it's so small. Such a small world we live in, and yet like I never run into Beyonce, but it's like a joke from a show Friends. But kind of like how important it is to like who you're around, kind of like guilty by association. Yeah. And I hate to say it because, you know, one thing I do want to say is like rumors are anyone is going to say something. You can see a stranger down the street and start a rumor. But when gets to a point to where it's like everyone's kind of saying the same thing, there's probably a little bit of truth behind it.
Yeah.
And that's when you want to kind of start like treading lightly, I think.
You know, okay, so speaking of reputation, what do you think, if having a bad rep, do you think it blocks your love life more or your career?
Both.
Both?
I think absolutely it will block both. It will block everything. If, you know, now I do want to say, like, I'm a very, like, hopeful person. I always think that, like, you can redeem yourself at any point. Like, anyone at any point can turn around and be like, you know what? Like, this isn't working for me. Like, something's got to give. I'm going to make a, you know, change everything, you know, 180, make a full 180. But I do think that depending on how you move, I think that everyone should, like, think twice before they make certain decisions. That's why I try to be as thoughtful as possible and just a genuine soul, you know, through and through, because, you know, you don't want to be known as anything that can damage your reputation. And your reputation is going to be damaged. Like, people are going to say things about you regardless, but you also should want to move in a way that, like, hey, like, people are going to say whatever, but at least I know, like, I'm moving in a good way. But if you know that you're moving in a bad way, and if you are moving in a bad way, you know.
Yeah. So, and I got to ask now, so if this person knows me, right? And I would have to see this person to remember who she is. Do you think that, because I know women talk.
Oh, absolutely. We talk all the time, just like men talk.
Yeah, and I feel like if this person knew who I was, and I was just, and what it seems to be like is this can probably be associated with a bad person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like, or we can go with this, I can kind of understand it to see if I have a blocked love life. Uh-huh. You see what I'm saying? Because if women are talking, and I'm not even moving like that. I got 400 followers on Instagram. I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on Facebook. I'm on my business. I'm a homebody. Yeah. And my name is in these rooms that I haven't even walked in yet. You know, like I think it's important for me to at least make sure that it's positive. And if it's not, then reevaluate my circle.
Absolutely. You always say like a very good, I mean, I'm so proud of you every time, just like I was last time. But I do think that reevaluating your circle is always going to be something that you should consider, you know, especially like as a man. I think that it's easy for men to think that, hey, like, oh, I can move any kind of way. And like, it's like, oh, well, women can't do this, but I can do this. I can go be with, you know, using like love life as a example, like just relationships in which you move in. And a lot of men think that it doesn't matter, but women do talk for sure. Like we talk all the time, and we warn people like, oh, I've heard about this guy, like that you shouldn't talk to him. And you can actually miss out, like like men that don't really think about it, they can miss out on a good one because the good ones are being warned and they don't want to even take the chance. So you're just gonna attract all the women that they're willing to take the chance because they're city girls like you, or they move like you do. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's good to think about your circle and think about kind of who you're hanging around and how who you hang around affects your love life and who it is that you're attracting. Like if you want something real and genuine, no one real and genuine wants someone that's gonna play with them, you know.
Or somebody who's just out here, you know, just not respecting
just
women.
Slinging it with community. Yeah.
So let's see what she said. What did she say? And don't hold back, because I can take it.
I think okay.
Let's get into it.
Let's get into it. Okay. This podcast, what happened? We turned, this is like
where is this going? Where is this going?
She basically, and I'll say who after, because it's not like any she is a very genuine, kind soul. Like it was all love, like, hey, just like forewarning, like we just heard, like, stay away from him because he moves around like his friend, and his friend, there's proof and evidence of how his friend moves, and we're friends with his, you know, women that he's talked to, and it just was like there's like a mutual warning a little bit there. Yeah.
So basically what you're saying is, because I hang around a specific person and women believe that he's for the community, right?
He's definitely for the community. Yeah, from what
they associate me the same way.
And this is no hate to him.
Right.
Like, it's not like we're name dropping or anything like that. Like, there's no hate to him, but
no, because this is important because I'm not going to be punished for this. Because I respect myself. I respect women.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not out here like that. I'm not in the bars. I'm not in the clubs.
Yeah.
And I'm always a good inspiration for women, and women come to me for advice.
Yeah.
And I honestly, I'd be damned if this starts to get out and I'm not this person.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if I have to reevaluate my circle, then I'm going to do that because I'm not going to be out here like that. You see what I'm saying? Because it's going to affect my love life and my career, and that's something I won't tolerate. Especially what I'm looking for. And if that's what's getting in the way, then it has to go.
Oh, wow.
It has to go because I feel like, well, this is about to go. I've already suffered for it.
Yeah.
I've already suffered for it. And I found out later.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because if I'm going to get into it. Because if speaking about reputation, I was dating a girl and I did not know this until it was too late. Right. And and one thing that's hard was trying to hold on to something that may not happen, but it's even harder to let it go. Yeah. So in that process that I'm trying to hold on to this person thinking they will return, I'm here, more is coming to light. And I'm like, why would she come back? Because, I found out that she felt like, because who am I to say how she feels is wrong?
Right.
So I'm just gonna go and say it. She felt like that he was flirting with her.
Who we're thinking about?
Yeah. So
interesting.
So and I didn't find that out until after, and I was like, why couldn't you tell me? Like in my head, I'm like, you could have told me this so that I can address this.
I definitely believe it, though. I hate to say it, but I definitely believe her 100%.
But when I got that confirmation, like hearing this right now, you're like, what if this got back to her? Because Houston is very small. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
And it's like, this will only prove everything that she's saying is right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And she's painting this image on me and it's not. And I want to say this clearly. I don't believe that everybody has a specific group of friends or family. If family, you kind of stuck with these people, and then friends. However, I don't always believe that just because you hang around a specific person is who you hang around, because you can be around a good person around the bad ones, and you're guilty by association. So, and it's hard to clear your name of something like that. And it can cost you something that you love, if not your career at the same time. So this is very important. And this is why a warrior's path is a solitary one, because I feel like I feel like you have to take whatever means necessary to protect yourself moving forward.
And I will say this, I think that it's very important to, my best advice also is being around high value people, because people who value themselves, they really don't move like that, men or women, or at least people that, and this is probably not the best advice, but being around people that have something to lose. Like if they are moving like that, they have a lot to lose, so they're definitely not going to be so publicly about it. They're going to be more super duper low key. And those type of people are just, they're at a different level in life. They have a lot of things going for them. They're very motivational people. They can motivate you. They can help you. They can lead you towards things that pertain to like your career and your goals. But people who are up here, they don't really move like that. Not so publicly that so many people can really pinpoint and say that it,
Yeah.
And you want to be around people that they have enough to lose, that they're not going to go after the girl that you're talking to, I think that you know,
And I think being blind to confidence will not help you see that.
oh, 100%. You have to be confident and that's something that we talk about all the time. I think confidence is number one with everything. That confidence is how you're going to succeed in your career. Confidence is how you're going to get what you want in your love life, and confidence is going to be just confidence opens up doors. It really does. And that's something that I had to learn too. I mean, I wasn't always a confident person. Now I'm like, you know, on a completely different wavelength. But before, you know, there was shut doors. It's amazing how much my life changed from being confident and walking around with that confidence. Because then when you're confident, you know what you should and shouldn't allow either. Right. Like, why am I hanging out with, you know, this? Why am I being around this type of situation? Like,
right.
You know,
man,
without spilling too much. It's like I'm trying to give advice without really saying how I would talk to you if it was just us.
Right. So I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that's embarrassing.
Super.
Like, you approach a girl trying to get and you're a good person, approach a girl and she hear like that. Like you just approach a chick and she already knows what she thinks she knows about you, or you approach a girl and she already has an assumption based off who you hang around, right? So it makes it even harder for a man to pursue a woman.
Oh, yeah. It's a small world. I'm like, dang, this is a lot if it's getting back to me, because how do you know Dadrian? Like, you already knew my brother. Like,
and I felt like I ran into that problem before. And here's how I found out, because she actually had the respect to tell me. And I was like, hey, like, I was at the gym one time.
Okay.
And
I wish I had some snacks or something.
Yeah. I was at the gym one time and I seen a girl. Okay. Right? And this was back in 2021. I seen a girl and I was like, you look familiar. Right? And I put her to the side, and I was working at the front desk. I was actually at Greenway. Right? Okay. And I was like, you look familiar. So I put her to the side and I was like, hey, do I know you from somewhere? And she was like, I don't think you do. I was like, I feel like I know you. I feel like I've seen you before. And I was like, do you know X person? And she was like, yeah, he actually DM'd me. And I was like, oh, okay. And she was like, yeah, but I didn't respond. And once she found out, I guess, because she was just, I can tell she became, like, after she found out that I was associated with X person, I guess she put that same expectation or stigma onto me. So it made getting to know her a lot harder, and I did not know why.
Interesting. And I will say this, as a woman, I mean, if I was talking to a guy and he's around another guy that moves, absolutely. But I mean, and it's the same thing for a guy. You're a guy, you know. I mean, if you're talking to a girl and she's talking to someone who has a reputation for some wild stuff that has proof and evidence, though, like there's proof and evidence, like this is not just a rumor, like this girl moves like this. Right. You might think like, okay, this girl's a little bit more low key about it, but she the same. Like,
but like if you're just going off assumptions and that's ruining people's rep, then you got to have a little bit of a gray area here, like a learning curve. Unless you have concrete evidence that this person is moving like that. But I know it's just
life. Because at the end of the day, people, they can't, both people, one person has to say like, you know what, like, should I really believe this? But at the same time, that other person has to do what they need to do to reevaluate their circle. Because to be honest, that's kind of an entitled way of thinking of, well, get to know me. Like, well, why? Like, I've heard everything that I needed to hear. Like, you know, like, that's kind of entitled to think that someone has to give you the benefit of the doubt, because really, like, no one has to give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, if I'm hearing all this stuff, I don't even want to take the risk. Like, because then I feel stupid. Because then I feel stupid that I'm sitting here like, well, let me not believe what literally everyone is telling me and take the chance, because people don't want to get played. Like, no one wants to get played. No one wants to feel stupid at the end of the day. You know, oh, I took this chance and then I got played. Like, I got dogged. You know what I'm saying? Like, so we can't get upset at other people either.
Right. No, it's fair.
You know what I'm saying? It's wrong, but it's it's fair and it's life. And we can't walk around and just be like, well, that's not fair. Like, okay, well, that's life. So let me reevaluate my circle. Let me upgrade myself. Let me be around people that bring value and that they look at themselves in a certain light, that they don't even want to move like that. Like, you know, because you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be in a situation where I'm like begging someone for the benefit of the doubt, because at the end of the day, no one owes me that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I just feel like, yes, I mean, you're right. That's just the way life is, but
it's just the way the cookie crumbles.
That's just a terrible position to be in too, when it costs you almost everything at the same time.
But
like it's a tough situation, you know.
You're so young, and the good thing about it is like one thing that I stand by is that there is a solution to every problem. There's a solution to everything. Like if you sit down and you write a list of everything you're not unhappy about, your love life, let's say it's your weight, there's a solution to everything. Oh, I'm not happy about my weight. Okay, I can go to the gym. I'm not happy about my love life. I can reevaluate my circle. I can, like, there's a solution to everything.
Okay.
But it's good to be aware of things that are being said. I mean, and like I said, rumors are going to be brought up. It's never going to be like, oh, there's just no rumor about Dadrian. Like that's just not possible.
That's just not life.
But if it's to the point to where like, I have my friends that I've been around coming to me and they know you. And I'm like, damn, I don't ever really like, I mean, Dadrian's he's never even been with us. Like, you know, so it's just crazy that I'm like showing a picture. Oh my gosh, I remember him because his friend, and I've been told not to be around, you know what I'm saying? Cause then I'm just like, ooh, okay. Because I'm very well aware of his reputation. I've heard a lot, you know, so with proof and evidence.
What is more of what she said? And don't be afraid to get into it.
I'm a little afraid to get into it because I'm sure the viewers are like, what was the podcast supposed to be about today? Because we went on. Really just to stay away was the moral of everything that was said, I would say. But I did say, I said, hey, I'm going to be real with you. That's not at all how he moves. And she completely believed me, because I will say this, I'm very honest. All of my friends, and you know this, all of my girlfriends have had a crush on you. So, and I'm very honest. And I've told some of my girlfriends, hey, I know how you move, and there's no way I'm letting you near my brother. He's like a true, like, wants a relationship, like marriage, like the way that he thinks, like you'd play him, like there's just no way. But it's vice versa too. Like, just like I tell my friends, like, nah, I can't let you be around Dadrian. This particular girl, 100% I would let her, like, yes, like, you know, because, and I've had friends that liked, like, or even if they did like him or Xavier, not okay, talk to him if you want to, but you're gonna come to me crying, and I'm gonna be like, it's gonna cause an awkward situation. So I'm very honest. Like, if you want to talk to one of my brothers, hey, I'm gonna be honest, some of them you gonna go through it, and then the other ones, like, you not.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Do you think, or do you know, if X person DM'd the girl that you're talking about?
I didn't want to get into this, but yeah, he did. Yeah. And actually, it was like after, because I remember like when I like saw her and I was like, this girl is so beautiful. It was whenever we were in the process of getting her to be like a model, and she was so gorgeous. And I sent you actually her page and was like, this girl is so gorgeous. And she would totally talk to, like, I know. And I think you, because of that low confidence that you were dealing with, you were like, you sent it to him. Nice. And you were like, because I remember this, you sent it to him and was like, there's no way that this girl would talk to me. Like, there's just no way. And directly after that, he slid into the DMs. And actually, I don't want to put this out there, but I'm going to go ahead and say it real quick. Y'all both were at one of the spots, one of the gyms that she was at. And while y'all were both working out, he was actively like trying to talk to her because she told me about it. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Because
and she was like, no, she's like, you know, Dadrian, he's so cute, but he's probably low key about it. And I was like, no, I'm real. Like, I'll let you know. Like, yeah, stay away. But genuinely, like, no, like he would marry you, girl. He would marry. Don't play with him. You will be proposed to.
That is so crazy. Like,
it's so crazy. And
I feel like that's.
The moral of the story, I would say, with every podcast that you do, there's a topic to talk about, a discussion.
Right.
And I think something that anyone can gain from this, because I know that this kind of went on a whole tangent, but something that anyone can gain from this is just reevaluate your circle, reevaluate who you're around, who you're surrounding yourself around, and always ask yourself, is this person worth my reputation? Why am I standing so firm with this person? Because a lot of times people who move certain kind of ways, they don't really have your back the way that you think that they have your back anyways. So you have to always ask yourself, is this worth it? Because in 5 years, are we going to be friends? Like if I'm a ride or die for you and I'm standing firm and with our friendship and I'm having your back no matter how it is that you're moving or, you know, whatever the situation is it worth it though? Like, do you have my back? Are you down for me? Because I think what we're starting to realize is that maybe this person isn't as good as a friend as you thought it was. So was it really worth everything that kind of came along with it? Because, you know, a lot of people, they want to hang around people in their circle and, oh, I'm gonna hang with this person. And it's like, is this person like really that down for you though? Because if they will treat their own people, their family members, you know, like they have that, you know, the child. So if you're willing to treat your direct other, you know, like that, like, yeah, how are you willing to treat your friends, you know?
Well,
maybe we can crop that part
out. I mean, so I just feel like, ladies and gentlemen, this is for the both of you. If a person does not care about how they move, you most likely and can suffer from that. And you can want something real and genuine. So if I can take any advice from me, and I would personally say, if that person does not care about their reputation,
they don't care about yours
they don't
either.
Care about yours, and you're gonna be the only one to suffer because they don't care.
Yeah. So
reevaluate your circle. Find your purpose, ladies and men. Find your purpose and just stick to it, and meet people along the way. Nobody has ever died being alone, but people have with the wrong person. So reevaluate your circle and push forward.
Yeah. You just have to think about it as well as, has this person's actions affected their own career? Because if it has, you have to look at what's going on in other people's life, you know? Like, has it affected them? And if it has, and they clearly continue to move that way, then they don't care about the opportunities that you may miss because of it. They're not going to care about any of that because they don't even care. They're in their own, like, they're moving how they want to move. And you really have to be careful of being around people like that, you know?
Yeah. No, I mean, because, like, you know, I've always wondered for like a while, why was it so hard for me? You know? And
I don't want to blame just one person.
Oh, no.
Confidence, like I said, I think a lot of confidence plays into that too, but 100% who you're around, because, you know, people are going to look at that, you know?
Absolutely. There's nothing you can do about it. It is.
So gotta reevaluate.
It is what it is. You know, it is what it is. What's one piece of advice that sticks with you?
Kind of what I said is reevaluating who you're around. I'm very careful with who I'm around, and a lot of the people that I am around, they're actually doing a lot better than me. And so it would do me better, like, even as far as like people talking, not much is going to get out of my direct circle because they all have like a lot to, it will, even if, let's say I get into it with one of these people in the circle, we're going to go outside and we're going to make it seem like everything's super great and professional. And like a lot of things are dealt with behind the scenes. So you want to be around people that like things are handled like more so behind the scenes, if that makes sense, without really saying too much, you know, but people that they don't care and it can just be out, like out and about like that. Like you gotta kind of watch out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just, That's deep. It's just deep, you know, because like the truth always comes out.
And it's more so deep because you just can't get mad at other people if they don't want to be around that.
Yeah.
You can't be mad at me because, all your friends, sell drugs and this is like an illegal business and like I don't want to be around that. Oh, but I don't sell drugs. Like I'm not doing it. And it's like, I don't know. Like you say that, but why are you only around people that's moving coke? You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, okay. So have you ever been affected by a situation like that?
Absolutely. These are things that like, like I'm older, so I'm the big sister. So like I've already been there, I've already been down these roads and I was around.
What are some of the things that, what have some of the things that blocked your opportunities because of it? Like what roadblocks have you ran into because of it?
I was, me, I was in a really long relationship. So I don't want to say that it really affected my love life at that time because the person that I was with was like, also had a good, like he would meet these people and he'd be like, no, like, Yaz, like, no, like, I don't want you around these people. Like, I don't like how she moves. And usually other women, they'll get offended by stuff like that. And cause I know that that's like something that I saw lately. There's like a celebrity like Jonah Hill and his girlfriend are going through this big thing online because, Jonah Hill's like telling her like, hey, I don't want you around these people. And she's like, he's sexist or whatever happened. And some girls get upset. Like, no, like, how dare you like be mad at my friend? But I think like you can't get mad at someone that they're seeing something that you're not seeing. Like I'm seeing like, look, this is my friend and I'm not going to judge her. And he's seeing like, this is going to affect you in the long run. Like you probably shouldn't be around her. So it didn't affect my love life, but it did at some point affect my career because you know what? Like at some point I ended up working with this person. We worked at the same place and she ended up like backstabbing me and like getting me fired somehow. This was years ago. Like I wasn't like where I'm at now. This was, even before this girl, this is before 2019. So once she got me fired though, like it was and I was like very genuine to her. I was very hurt about it for a long time, but it clicked something in my head. Like, okay, so I stood by you, all the rumors, all the things that was going on and you backstabbed me in the end anyways. No, like I'm going to be around people that like, no, it just completely, and I've seen a lot in, just in the career world. I see people all the time come and go. And a lot of times these people that like, you're not even sometimes friends with the people that you work. Like think about, some of your jobs that you've had, like, are you hanging tough with some of these people anymore? Like, was it worth, you know what I'm saying? Like, you just have to, at the end of the day, your end goal from what it sounds like is you want to be in a commitment. You want a happy career. You want a happy marriage. So at the end of the day, you have to think about how am I going to get what I want? And you're not going to get what you want if you don't evaluate who you're around, who you're spending your time with, because people do look at that. And the moral of the story is that you just can't get mad at that. You can't get offended when someone's telling you about your friends. You can't get offended when your parents are, hey, I don't think this is the guy for you. Because like, you can't get offended at these things. You have to sit there and be like, move with less emotion, move with less of like your heartstrings and move with more of like, what's up here? Like, okay, does this make sense for me to be around this person?
I guess it's the way to put your antennas up. Like, okay, so what are you concerned about? And then look into it and be like, okay, I'm a watch for it now because you brought it up. It's been brought to my attention. So now I'm a watch for it. And then if what you say is true, then I just go talk to that person and then make the corrections. Or if not, cut that person off. So I think it's just all learning how to take that as constructive criticism. Instead of like, this person just don't want me to be with.
And it doesn't have to be drama. I'm like a huge fan of slowly but surely getting the heck away. Like I'm a very like, I'm like disappearing in slow motion. Like you're talking to me and imagine I'm slowly disappearing right now. Okay. Like that.
What are some of the ways that you get into your own happiness? Or what are some of the ways that you get in front of your own happiness?
So, moving less with emotion is going to be one of those things. Like being someone that you're more thinking, you're not moving off of like emotion. You're moving on like what's best for me. I think people have to learn too to be a little bit more selfish with themselves. And that's a confidence thing. Like when you lack confidence, you're so willing to just like give and give and give and give and give, which is how I was. And sometimes that's especially like with family and friends. Like I'm like, don't get me wrong. Like I'm not saying like don't give at all, but I'm saying more like be a little bit more selfish. Like, you know what? You're a cool person. I'm not going to hang around you. Like, just being more willing to boundaries.
Boundaries. No, okay, that's
boundaries.
Correct boundaries, and I think it is really important if you establish that early.
Because you're not going to ever be happy if you don't ever put yourself first. And how do you put yourself first if you're not confident, you don't feel like you deserve to be put first? If you know what I'm saying? You have to sit there and be like, I want to be happy. I'm going to be happy by if I do X, Y, Z. And people aren't going to like it. Like, no one ever likes when someone has boundaries. Like, you know, but you have to sit there and be like, do I want to be happy or do I want to make someone else happy?
Okay.
Like, I want to be happy. So that means slowly distance myself from this person, prioritize this and this and this. You know what? What would make me happy? I want a dope body. I want the right people around me. That starts with, I'm going to hit the gym. I'm going to wake up. I'm not going to hang around this person. I'm going to listen to podcasts. I'm going to better myself, read better books. Blase. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. So you're what you're saying is you're responsible for your own happiness, not your partner.
You're responsible for your own happiness 100% because no one owes you anything and no one is going to put your happiness first.
Okay.
So you have to do it. Like, no one's going to sit there and be like, you know what? I just really want I will cost all of my happiness so that I could just put Daedrin first, make sure that he's happy 24/7. No one's gonna do that. So you have to be like, you know what? No one's going to have your back more than you can.
Yeah.
Like, because everyone at the end of the day, I hate to say it, is gonna be out for themselves. At the end of the day. You know, like, I have a friend right now who she's like calling me upset. Oh my gosh, like, the people that I work with, like, you know, they do me so wrong. I don't know what to do. And how do I make... You have to sit there and I had to tell her, I said, look, at the end of the day, these people that you're working with, they want to make money too. So they're not going to sit here and play the nice game. And you have to sit there and be like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make myself happy. And making myself happy is helping my bank account. Okay. So ultimately, I don't care if you like me or not. I don't care for friends. Like, I'm here for, you know, my own, like, and it sounds selfish. And I guess it kind of is, but you kind of have to be, you know?
To a point.
No,
you can't, it makes sense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what you should probably do is cut a picture of yourself out of you when you were a little kid and tape it on the fridge. And anytime you put up with something, that little kid, you're putting him through that. Because no one else is going to care. You know what I'm saying? Yes. You have to care about yourself, you know? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I'm like a lot of my friends call me a certified lover girl. Like, I'm a overly genuine, like, loving person. Like, I feel bad very easily. Which is why I volunteer. Like, you know, a lot of people that know me, they know, like, I volunteer at homeless shelters. Like, I do a lot of this stuff. I very much care. But at the same time, if I know that someone else around me does not care about themselves and they don't care about how it's affecting me, they don't care about me at all. So I need to be selfish in these type of situations. I'm not saying, you know, if there's people around that are truly rooting for you, like, no, I'm not saying to move around them and be like, look, I'm gonna put myself first. Like, okay. But I mean, like, if other people, you're around someone that they really don't care. Yeah. So you don't care about me. So I need to be more selfish.
Right. So it seems like you know what you want. You have a good head on your shoulders. You evaluate your environment very well, and you know what you like when it comes to relationships. You know what you can offer. So what's something that you feel like is missing in your life right now?
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy spilling the tea that I'm like, let's not make this about me, okay? I want to be, you know, so something that I'm missing, I would say,
it's a good question, right?
It's an honest like, question that no one likes to answer. So what I'll say is this, I'm always wanting to improve just in life. I'm always wanting to improve, like, you know, so what I'm missing is just more growth. I just want to keep growing, keep improving, keep doing better, keep surrounding myself with people that care, you know, that care, you know, because there are people out there that I care, you know what I'm saying?
So how would you find, okay, so how would you know, based off your experiences in your life, how would you know when you can tell and be like, okay, this person cares for me? What are the signs that you look for to know that somebody else cares about you?
That they care for themselves. They know how to also, this is what I look at with a lot of things is people that are constantly trying to grow and better themselves, they care. And a lot of times when people want to better themselves, they want the people around them to better themselves as well. So for example, me and you, we work out a lot. When I meet people, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what we should do? Let's go to spin class in the morning together. Let's go eat salads together. So clearly I care about this person. I am constantly working on my improvement. Right. So I want you to improve with me. I don't want you to be,
that's a good evaluation.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if the person is working on themselves, they're going to want you to work on themselves too. So they're going to want to help you get there. They're going to want to help you work on yourselves too. Like, oh, Dadrian, I read this great book on, podcast. And you know what? You have a podcast. You should read this book. They're helpful. Like people who are constantly bettering themselves and wanting to better other people, they're helpful. And if you notice, people that have great bodies and they're constantly bettering their bodies, what do they end up doing? They end up becoming trainers. They want to help other people have nice bodies. Like when you're constantly genuinely improving, you genuinely want to help other people too. Like, wow, I've made this full, like I think about it all the time. Like, wow, I really changed my life. Like you were around me when you've seen how much my life changed drastically. And I think about it all the time. Like, wow, I really want to help other young women get into this field and learn. Like I want to teach these girls, like you don't have to be doing X, Y, and Z. Like there's money to be made out here and there's growth to be made and there's people to have been met. And like, I'm always thinking about how I want to help young women, fresh.
What's some advice you give a woman that wants to get into real estate right now? Cause you're doing great in real estate right now. Just climbing that ladder. So what's some advice you can give women who want to get started in that?
Just start.
Okay.
Just start.
Start.
That's going to be my first advice is just do it.
Do they need a license?
Nike.
Do they
you need a license to be in the industry, but my first advice is just to get started. I mean, there's a lot of people too that you need to have the drive and the motivation, and you have to be around people that have the drive and the motivation, because it's really easy to, like, for example, get your license and then not do anything with it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is kind of hard. It's hard to find clients. You need to be around people that are like, look, you need to keep going. I found the clients. Right. I'm doing this. So why are you limiting yourself? It's hard, but if I'm doing this, why are you not believing that you can do this too? Being around people, if you any type of career growth, my best advice is always going to be around people that they're going to push you and they're going to, a lot of people that I'm around, they are, I'll say this. If I don't want your life, I don't care about the advice that you're about to give me. Be around people that when you get it, or even if you're someone who, for young women, because a lot of young women, they may not want to be in real estate. Any advice I would give is notice what kind of makes you jealous too. Like, I listened to a really good podcast the other day where the lady was like, you know what? I don't get jealous when I see New York penthouses because I don't want to be in New York. When you're jealous, it's a sign of your passion. It's a sign of what it is that you want to do. So listen to that and notice kind of what triggers you a little bit. And sit there and say, like, okay, when I hear Yaz talk about real estate, that kind of made me jealous a little bit. But instead of being jealous, be inspired by it and know, congratulations, you just found your passion. Congrats, and be around people that they're really out here doing it. They're really, really out here doing it. I just met someone the other day that he is like overly busy because he has his license in like multiple different states and he's doing it in like multiple different states. And when I was talking to him, I was like, that is wild. I think that just opened something in my mind a little bit, but being around people that they are like, they're goal getters, like get inspired. Don't, and I'm not saying like it's good to be jealous, but it's good to know your passion and then switch it.
Okay.
Switch it. Go from jealousy to, I got a little jealous. I found my passion. Now I'm inspired. And and root for the people that are, people know when you're genuine as well, especially people that have a lot of growth in their career. They can tell when someone is giving them side eye, evil eye. Like they can tell when you feel some type of way, you're not genuinely happy for them, or they can tell when you're a user as well. So genuinely come with an offer like, hey, I want to learn from you. I'm looking for like a mentorship, and in return I can offer XYZ. Oh, I met someone the other day that they were like, hey, I'm so inspired by you. I was wondering if you can really help me. And by the way, like, I'm really into digital media. So like I can help your social media, that the stuff that you're doing.
Right.
And it's like, okay, so I don't, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you want to be able to also offer something and know that you're climbing towards something as well. But be inspired and try and build those. I'm sorry, I keep checking my phone. I have like 30 minutes. I have a meeting right after this. Find people around you that they're willing to help you as well and support you, and you're willing to support them. So you can't really be jealous as you continue to climb. You need to be willing to. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. What are some of the roadblocks you've hit in real estate as a young woman?
Oh my gosh, so many. You know what? Speaking of roadblocks, if you're getting into the industry, get all of your buyers qualified first. I meet so many realtors that I feel bad for them that they work with someone for like a year. And time management is going to be good advice. Okay. Like, I meet a lot of people that I've been working with this person for a year, and then finally I tried to get them there, but they only qualify for $50,000 house. Okay. We don't got no $50,000 houses. Okay. I know people move to Houston because the market is great, but it ain't that great. All right. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe find you some land in LaGrange or something, but but I mean, like, goddamn.
So okay. And I've noticed that you do work a lot, and I think that's something that many people don't realize that they're going to get into when they get into the industry. Like, you're working all the way to midnight, and you got off at 7:00.
I mean, there's been times when I worked until 4 a.m. and then I had a meeting at 6 a.m. and it, like even right now, like. Yeah. You were with me. We were up until like 3 a.m. Like, so I just think that people have to understand, because I meet a lot of entitled people in the industry though. I actually meet a lot of young women that they come in and they're like, I should be selling these multi-million-dollar houses right off the gate. And it's like, you got to work. You got to put in some work. Okay, with the capital K. Man, that's WORK. You can't just expect that anything is going to get handed to you in this industry, because real estate, nothing is going to get handed to you. So you have to 100%.
What demographic does better? Is it who are more successful in the industry? Is it the women selling houses, or is it the men selling houses?
Real estate is just a male-dominated industry, but I know a lot of women that's making a lot. Yeah, like I know I make more than all the men. Well, I don't want to say that. No, because you know what? Everyone around me kind of is doing. I'm around like people. I've seen some crazy numbers.
You just in your bracket of that competition.
I would say there's a lot of women. I make a lot of more than the men. But there's a lot of men and there's a lot of women that are making way more than I've ever seen. And I'm like, I'm like, oh my gosh, am I limiting myself? Like, can I get there? Like, God, I don't know how you doing that. But it takes a lot of work. People think that they're going to get into the business and things are going to get handed to them. But you also have to realize everybody's a realtor. I've been in grocery stores and I've met like 10 realtors inside of Target, and like everybody got their real estate license. Yo mama probably got somebody listening to this got so you can't think that it's going to get handed to you, because at the end of the day,
it's so competitive.
Pretty much everybody's a realtor nowadays.
It's so competitive.
You go to school for like a year, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can get your license easily. Everybody's a realtor. You can't get into the business and industry and think that you're just about to like
be successful.
It's just know.
Yeah, you grind.
You're getting paid a lot of money because you're always available. Yeah. I've had emergencies happen at 2:00 in the morning. I've had days where I'm like, okay, I'm on vacation. Like, I'm not doing this today. Look, Yaz, we need this for the loan. These people need their keys. This is happening. This walkthrough had this happen. Like, something is always going to be happening.
Yeah, and I watched you do this, and I think it's very inspirational. But you went so many months grinding your craft. Yeah. Where you wasn't even getting paid.
I wasn't even getting paid. And
look at you now.
Thank you.
That's so crazy. Like, and many people don't understand that. Like, you're gonna probably be
not right off the gate.
Yeah, like you went a while. What, a year?
A year with net zero. Net zero. I actually ended up working 3 jobs at some point at the same time. And I was like, one of them was like overnight. And it's just so that I can like, because man, the gas and like at the time, like the gas was like $4 out here. So I mean, I think we're all used to like the gas prices now a little bit. I mean, I ain't even gonna lie. Even my bank account, I ain't got time for this.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm like, do I need gas? Can I drive the car on E? Can I push it?
I ain't gonna lie to you. My car ain't seen a full tank of gas since Biden been elected president.
Don't make me start talking about it, because y'all don't want me to start talking about the whole Biden thing,
because that gas.
There should be an age limit, I think, on presidency.
I don't care how much money I got. That is ridiculous.
That
is ridiculous.
This close to getting a Tesla. I don't think I'll do it. I'm just kidding. I don't rock with the Tesla.
Yeah, that man, that's inspirational though. Like just knowing that you grinded it through for an entire year
with no money, but see, people don't have that expectation. They think like, I'm finna get into this business and I'm finna make all, and that's good. Be inspired. Get into the business and be inspired. Do that shimmy dance the whole year that you ain't making no money. Because that's what. Hey, I wasn't making no money, but I sure was taking us out to eat some. We was getting some lobsters and steaks. We sure was at Steak 48 though. So
that's that power of manifestation and putting yourself in the position.
Yeah,
and believing in that.
Because I was sitting at the restaurant and I was like, you know what though? At some point, I'm gonna be able to afford this easily and effortlessly. So let's go ahead and manifest it right now. And you know, I wasn't like going crazy with it, but I mean, it was a struggle, but I wasn't showing that it was a struggle, and I knew that the struggle wasn't going to last forever. Like, sometimes you have to not think about, you know what's funny? I just heard a song in my head, and this is really funny. Miley Cyrus, The Climb. Underrated, because you know what? In the lyric, she says, it's not about how fast I get there. It's not about what's waiting on the other side. It's the climb. Like, it's really like looking at like really enjoy the process of the climb. Really do. Like, there's so much, like, you can't sit and get into the industry. You kind of have to be strong. That's why I say you have to be around people that are really doing it, because it's easy to get discouraged. I got discouraged. It's not like I was the whole year, like, waking up in the morning, like, hey, like, I mean, I had my moments when I was like, man, like, I just don't know. But I was constantly around people that's like, well, I do know.
Yeah,
you know, like I do know, and it's easy for you to give up on yourself when you don't see, what it could be. Like, you've never had that kind of money before. You've never seen the value in just like being a little bit patient. But I was around people that had been doing it for years. So even though I couldn't really see it, like that it was worth just continuing to grind, I had people around me that was like, look, I closed 6 houses in a week. You know,
work. That's the grind.
And they went through a lot to get there. Like, it's not easy, and you gotta go in it humble. You can't have an entitled mindset at all. You gotta be ready to put in work and be available, because for that year, I was up until 3:00 in the morning every night. You know, I was working just as hard as I am now. Yeah. But it's just that when people say that you can't get rich. I don't want to say life, when you get rich quick. Like, I'm not going to say like you get rich quick, but I mean like you work hard, and then you just look up and it just, boom, all of a sudden, like everything just comes in at onit's.
It can happen sooner than you think you can.
You get the money quick, but it's not a quick process. Like, when you just kind of look up and you're like, oh, whoa, okay, like it's happening. My work is paying off. Yeah, it's like that.
Yeah. And then I think the most, when it comes to that, you just have to really believe that you can do it. And I've read a quote the other day, and it said, you're closer to your dreams than you think you are. And that's a good example of it. Like, it took you a year, then everything turned around for you.
Imagine that you're digging, and you're digging for gold. And imagine that you've been digging for a while, and you say, you know what, I'm done digging. The gold is way, I don't know where it's at, it's not here. But imagine if you would have just shoveled it 2 more times, you would have seen all the gold. Yeah. You just gotta keep shoveling. Like, you just, or keep like mining. Like, just keep going. Like, if you just keep knocking these rocks down, eventually you're gonna knock it down, and you're just gonna see rows and rows and rows full of diamonds and gold and crystals. Like, you just gotta keep going. You cannot give up on yourself, and you don't need to be around anybody that gives up on you either. If you're someone, know your flaws. like if you know that you're someone that you're easily influenced by those around you, then you don't need to be around anybody that's gonna be like, ooh, this is too much. It's too much, Daydream. It's too much work, because you're easily, but you need to know that that's your quality.
And is that what you believed in when you felt overwhelmed? Like, what got you through that process of being overwhelmed? Was it like, I believe I can do it and I can get there? Was it that mentality?
Yeah, I used to have like kind of like no boundaries before real estate. This industry will teach you some boundaries, okay? Because it's like, it's a lot going on. But I learned, what I mean by that is I learned how to cut people off. Because I'm overwhelmed. I'm trying to make something happen. If you're not for me, you know, cut it off. I cut it off. If you're not where I want to be, I'm cutting it off. Like, I just didn't have time. You know, when I was climbing that ladder, I didn't have time to be around anyone that was going to drag me down at that particular moment. And hey, I even had to have boundaries sometimes, even like with my mom. Like, my mom is my number one supporter. She always supported me. But like, for example, there are certain things that like we weren't on the exact same like page with, and I was like, all right, I can't listen to my mom with this kind of stuff. Not with career stuff though. Like, my mom always, and my mom, like, I'll cry right now. Like, she just held it down. So my mom held it down so strongly when I went through a lot, you know, when I first got into this industry, a lot, like within career, outside of career, and my mom held it down. Like, I owe her an island in the Fijis, but I mean, just like personal things, like maybe like personal.
The support system is crazy.
Yeah, but certain things like outside of career, me and my mom, like, we might disagree with something, and I'm like, look, I can't listen to this right now. But also, I will say this though, if you want to grow in your career, you also have to know your flaws. And last thing that I'll say is don't be extremely stubborn. People have already been there, done that. You think you have the answers. You don't have the answers. I'm telling you because I'm trying to help you. So take my advice, or go through the hardships that I already went through, been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't want to say that, I just like, sometimes my mom says something and I'm like, no. It just has to be like something where I'm like, Mom, you genuinely, you don't know. Yeah. But I listen to my mom all the time. Like, I mean, I don't want to say that and just say, you know, I don't want anyone listening to this and be like, okay, so just like be firm and like, no, like listen to what people have to say. They've been there, done that. You know, anytime I give advice to people, like, they'll call me, oh, should I do this? And I'm like, I don't think you should do that because I've already done that before and I see how that played out. I'm gonna do it anyways. Calls me later. Yeah, has it played out how you said it would? Yeah, I've been through this like a lot.
I understand.
Yeah.
And I think that was very good insight that you gave today.
Oh, man, thank you.
It's always good insight. I always learn a lot from you.
I am very proud of you. Overly proud of you. Your growth is crazy.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
For your age, like, crazy.
And I want to leave the viewers with a quote that I read, and I think I would like to share it with you. The quote goes, I am a different person to different people, annoying to one, talented to a few, and quiet to some. But who am I to me?
Period. Oh, and I want to leave with one last thing. I owe everything to God and Jesus Christ. I do also want to say that because I had a huge transition in my life. And my growth was crazy. And there was just, I don't want to say, I want to help people. I have a lot of knowledge, but I do want to say, I did not get anywhere without God and Jesus. So I want to put that out there straight up.
I think everybody should go down that spiritual journey because I've actually built a better relationship.
Yeah, I wouldn't
with God as well.
I wouldn't
in
be
this
here.
process.
I wouldn't be here. Yeah,
absolutely. And if you guys can take anything away from this video, do not overstress yourself unnecessarily. Be able to be in your experiences and metabolize them so that you can learn from them and grow. That is the only way that you're going to get to point A and point B on a healthy mindset. So again, guys, do not overstress yourself unnecessarily. Be able to metabolize your experiences. And that's all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for tuning in with Day to Day with Daydream. You guys have a great day.